All right, I have Grant Cox with me today, and he is one of the owners of Stretch Lab here in Coeur d'Alene, Idaho. Him and his wife own multiple businesses. We were just talking about how they're wellness gurus, I would say. Jamie's a runner. And so, first of all, thank you so much for joining me today.
No, thank you, Tabitha. I really appreciate the opportunity, and yeah, I'm excited to be here. Thank you.
Of course. So, tell us a little bit about you, a little bit about Stretch Lab, and also, you haven't been doing this very long, and kind of like what your background is.
Yeah, um, I'm from the area more or less. Moved here when I was young. Went to school here. Went to college over at GU. Met my wife Jamie, kind of like right as I was getting out of school. She's a local from Coeur d'Alene. We took off to Texas for 7 years, and while we were down there, that's kind of where we fell into the franchise game, and with Pure Bar initially, and after 7 years of being in Texas, we really wanted to come back home. And so we did and started with Pure Bar, got into Cycle Bar. Now we're getting into Stretch Lab. And yeah, it's kind of where we're at in a short few seconds.
Yeah. And so, what did you actually do before this?
Yeah.
It was still medical, correct?
Before this, I've been in sales since college. When I relocated down to Texas, I worked for a great company down there. I worked in oil, gas, and chemical with them for 7 years. Came back. I was in medical device sales here for 2 years, and so I guess my sales experience, that's kind of where my niche is within the businesses that we own. I focus on the sales efforts for the most part. I'm kind of behind the scenes. Jamie's very much in the front of house, and I kind of hide behind her and let her be the face of things while I do the stuff in the background.
Yeah. And so, what made you switch? I mean, what made you get out of, because that's a great career that you're leaving to, and all three of the businesses you own are all franchises. What made you guys, you switch your career to doing this?
I mean, we both have always had a goal of working for ourselves. That's always been something that we've wanted to do. And right, wrong, or indifferent, this year was probably the wrong year to be working for ourselves only, but it's where we're at, and we're making the best of it. So that's really it. Yeah, we enjoy the process of building a business and hiring good people and all of that. It's a lot of fun for us. So that's really kind of the goal, is just to work for ourselves instead of somebody else.
Yeah. And so, with that, we are in the middle of COVID, and we were just talking about how numbers are spiking. If you're in the fitness community, whether everyone's together and everybody's touching each other, well, in Stretch Lab. So, what kind of hurdles have you gone through to get through this whole pandemic?
Well, we're grateful to be in Idaho. That's a huge benefit. We know so many small business owners elsewhere in the country that are struggling far more. Fortunately, Idaho has been very pro business, and we understand caution and definitely support that. And but we are fortunate to be in a state where the mandates have been pretty light, and the public has really received what we're doing really well. With Stretch Lab specifically, we opened in June, kind of right at the end of the mandated quarantine, and we didn't know how it was going to go. And we were really fortunate that I don't know if people were just really looking for a human connection after getting out of quarantine, if all those stiff muscles kind of added up, into our favor. But the brand and what Stretch Lab does is so fantastic, and we're so excited about it, and it's literally felt with every client that comes in the door. So we're fortunate that we've had a really great support from the community, and it's gone as well as it could go coming out of COVID, or whatever you want to call it, what we're in right now.
Yeah. And so, and what I think is great is all three of your facilities, and I've been in Stretch, you guys sanitize, you have masks. I mean, you guys are taking those precautions so you don't have to close down, as much as to your ability. But I really appreciate that you guys are really taking that cleanliness to another level as well.
Yeah, it's a must. We don't want anybody to have a second thought coming into our locations. Between every single person, there's typically a little 5-minute kind of window where people are coming and going within the studio, and anybody that's there, they see the process, and it's clean. Get your work done, and then you're ready for the next person to come. So hopefully, there's a lot of faith within our community that we're doing all the right things there.
So if someone's curious on, like, they come in, they don't really understand what Stretch Lab is yet. What is something you would take, like a new person, say I'm walking in, what would you take me through to like help me go through my first session with you?
Yeah. So most people sign up for a 50-minute introductory stretch if they haven't done it before. And literally, what it is one person working with you and holding your body in positions that help create length within your muscle fibers and really just give your body the release in terms of what it needs to be able to have flexibility and mobility. So regardless of what part of your body is having issues. It's we have really great trained team in what they do, and so it's I would compare it to a yoga class. So what we really try to explain to everybody is like the amount of efficiency that we have within a 50-minute session. I'm a fan of hot yoga. I go. I enjoy the heat. I enjoy the stretch. But I recognize that I'm not good at yoga. I'm, below. I don't know if I'm average, but um, being able to hold yourself into a position for the right amount of time and to the right depth is very difficult to do. And in a year's worth of yoga, if you fall out of that position in just the smallest way, you lose the benefit of that stretch. So, what this team does, they hold you in that stretch, they push you further than you're probably comfortable with. And the benefits and the efficiency are just extremely high.
And that's what I think is great is like you said, like I do yoga. There's times I won't push myself because I'm like, ooh, that hurts a little too much. But going in there, you're like, oh yeah, this is, and then oh, you can touch your toes in a couple weeks.
Exactly. Yes.
And
And the benefits are they range broadly. We have people that come in from the age, the kind of the slogan within the franchise is 8 to 80. That's our demographic. So from young athletes to the elderly, just trying to sleep better or tie their shoes, like those are our people.
that's crazy. And that's a great point. Is like, I mean, even if you're not sleeping well, or if you're just like getting out of bed and feeling tight, like something like this can really help you just be have a healthier life and less pain.
Yeah, absolutely.
And I loved, I went in there and you guys had me do the machine to see where like all my issues were. I talk about that. That thing is so cool.
Yeah, yeah. We have this machine. It's made by Fismoto. They call it the MAPS analysis machine. And basically, what it is a camera that reads 2,000 data points across your body while you do 3 squats. And we use this as a tool to kind of understand where the baseline is, where your flexibility is, and where your body issues are. So it's measuring your body movement, looking for inefficiencies, looking for a lack of muscle activation, symmetry, all of these things, and it prints out kind of this information for us to look at, and we keep it on your file and we track it. So we, as somebody goes through their program, we go back and we do the maps again, at a certain interval depending on how often they come, and it's a great tool for us to just kind of visualize what's going on. Very, very cool. It sounds something that wouldn't be or it could be kind of hokey, but it absolutely is accurate. The team that developed it, Fismoto, I mean, the only thing they do is body work and body mechanical analysis. It's very cool technology. We're excited to have it.
Yeah, I mean, when you guys did it on me, I knew because I know my body pretty well, like where I usually get tight, where my hips are, and it was like exactly right the spots that I'm always like, yep, that's the spot that's always tight, or that's
Yeah,
the shoulder that I like
the
can do
accuracy.
this.
The accuracy is very surprising.
So you are a local. What is your go-to restaurant?
Oof.
Or you can do like what's your go-to breakfast and maybe lunch, maybe dinner.
Man, I do a lot of cooking at home, but because of COVID, we've been doing a lot of to-go stuff too, is depending on how businesses are open and things like that. Syringa has always been our go-to, I would say. And then we live really close to Moon Time. They're always a staple. The Santa Fe chicken sandwich, obviously. Um, those are kind of my favorite too. I do like Bluebird a lot. Breakfast would be the Garnet. Kind of those are the staples
I know,
within.
and those are the ones that have been around for a long time and have really like created some like you said, that's like you have to have this sandwich or you have to have this like whatever breakfast thing it is, green eggs and ham at Garnet.
Yes. Oof. Or the spaghetti.
Yes.
Everything
So
has that.
outside of, your business and what you're doing, what are your guys' like go-to hobbies and things you do outside of running these crazy, amazing businesses?
Um, Anything outside, really. That's why we came back home. We left Texas in the heat because we want to be able to do everything we want to do outside. I really love golf. Jamie's getting into golf lately, which has been great. I really love to fly fish. Anything kind of getting out of town a little bit, getting out into the woods. Those are my favorite things. Winter, where Jamie skis, I snowboard. You pick a day. I'm down for a lot of different things in this area.
Yeah, we're very fortunate to live in such a amazing that we have all the seasons and each season comes a really cool activity. That's awesome. And I saw that Jamie's getting into golf. Is she beating you yet?
Um, no, I'm a little worried that it will happen at some point, but her patience is that might be the thing that slows her down a little bit. So she wants to be
Isn't
good
that
at
what always happens when you golf though? Like your patience goes out the door.
it. Takes a lot of patience. Yeah, you can't get good in a couple days, which is really disappointing to her. So she, she'll get there though.
I love it. So you've been through different careers, businesses, and you've lived all over the place. What is maybe a life lesson as you go through all this? What is a life lesson that you've had to learn the hard way?
Oh, um, always I guess I graduated from college in the middle of a recession. I worked in Texas in oil and gas when there was an absolute the price of oil got crushed and there was a recession there. I'm now a fitness owner during COVID. My I
Wow,
guess what
you got luck on your side.
I think, yeah, just don't ever invest with me. That might be it. No, I think the good times are easy, and that's they're always you always have to know that there's an end to the good time, and that's when you really have to put in the work. And I've learned now a few times just how important the focus is and doing things right. It's when things are easy, and I now I know to enjoy those moments, but be prepared for what's coming next. I think that's what I would say I've learned the most.
I think that's a lot that opens our eyes on like the be prepared. I know my background in nonprofit, like we never saw something like this happening. And it's like, how do you ask people, businesses for money or gift cards or whatever it is, because
Yeah,
they're struggling now. And you're like, oh, wait, so how do we do this sponsorship thing when everyone doesn't have money?
yeah,
Um,
yeah.
so yeah, it's navigating like, okay, we need to be ready for something like this no matter what.
Yeah, yeah. It's yeah, every market that I've worked in, I've seen a downturn, and it's tough, but it makes you better. We've been right now. So the three franchises that we own is owned by a parent company, and they're actually doing a convention right now over Zoom in the last 2 days, kind of catching up on the year, what's going on, what we're looking forward to in 2021, and there's a lot of optimism just because it's been survival mode, and to still be on your feet, still getting in there, and still be afloat is a big deal right now, and it's something to be happy about, and know that when things improve and the confidence within the community is higher to go out and be a part of things and group activities, and whether that's vaccine related or anything, that means that we're going to be in a better position for success because we just learned how to do things the hard way.
Exactly. That's exactly. And what people need most right now, people are getting sick. And then you go into like seasonal depression and you go to all this other things. What people need most is what you guys are offering, fitness, stretching, living healthier lives so you can fight off these illnesses or sicknesses or mental illnesses. So people need you guys more than ever right now, all three of your businesses.
I hope that a lot of people feel that way. We did not get into fitness because we said, we're going to get rich on it. My wife is very much a consumer of fitness, and everything that we've ever put our money into and invested in and wanted to have in our community is something that we believe in and know works within its modality. And we have three brands that we really stand behind, and we know that the product that we put out there, the teams that we have, the people that get up and inspire people in a class to perform at a higher level than they normally would on their own. We have great people that make people push themselves, and it's really great.
Yeah, and you guys do. You have very successful businesses. You've navigated. Obviously, Jamie is a go-getter and super creative on how to bring it. I mean, she puts it and she makes a team around her, which is awesome. And you guys are just killing it. But what like inspires you to be your best person?
I don't know. I guess, I mean, every day I'm like, I think the goal for a lot of people is just to get out and be, better than you were the day before. I think Jamie and I are mutually goal oriented of just having a good life and being able to do the things that we want to do. And that's you wake up and you either wake up with a fight and something that you want to go get after, or you don't. And I can't imagine just wanting to slow down or sit on my hands. We have to act, and that's really, I mean, we enjoy what we do, and so it's fun, it's challenging, but when you enjoy what you do, it's easier to get up and go do it every day.
Yeah, I would say you guys are definitely a power couple. Is that what people call you guys?
I have never heard anybody tell us that.
Well,
I would,
I'll be the first one to tell you guys that you are.
I understand that that's probably heavily weighted towards me, and I appreciate that, Tabitha. Thank you.
You're so welcome. So, what is one thing you wish you knew before you started your career, especially with Stretch Lab?
With Stretch Lab, oh man, I don't know. We opened in June. We were supposed to be open in October of 2019. So I took everything on the chin as I could through that whole process. I don't know. I don't know what the takeaway is from that. I think it was just, build it and they will come. I mean, like, we I Stretch Lab, as it's funny because now we have such a great team there. We have such a great community, and so much faith in what the people do there and what they do for people's bodies. And I am so thrilled with the team that we have. And I think my biggest takeaway would be just if hire the people that care about others, and that have faith and trust in the brand and the business that you put together. And I mean, we hired people in February that didn't get to work until June. So it was the people are everything. That's I
Yeah.
guess my takeaway.
Exactly. When you walk into any of your businesses and everyone greets you in the way that they treat you, I've never been treated poorly at either three locations. It's just and it shows a lot about how you're training your staff and how you're circling the right people around you guys, because that's customer service is everything. And I think that and that's how people keep coming back to you.
Yeah, I mean, customer service and results. I can describe Jamie as she every instructor that she brings on at Pure Bar and Cycle Bar. Those are two different animals, but every instructor that she brings on, she wants to know that if she signs up for that class, that it's going to kick her butt, and she works out hard. So that's the way that she trains her teams there. And then at Stretch Lab, I mean, we have people that every single client that gets on their bench and they work with, and there's plenty of them, they are taking the steps to make sure that those people improve their lives and they feel better after their experience with Stretch Lab. So the teams of people are a big deal.
Oh, I agree 100%. Yeah, it's kind of funny when you mention that because all of there's where you're located, all of you guys are like brand new to the location. So it was kind of like everyone was opening during COVID and during like, oh, what do we do? Like this goes on, like Allie over at 32. I was
Yes.
helping her do some dishes and our hot water stopped working.
Oh,
So we were like over there, we're like, hey, does anybody have hot water we can use? Because we need to start doing all this
yes.
sanitation stuff. We need hot water. And I think it's really cool that the community you guys have created out there too. If you've had
Yes.
events or, you just need to like lean on each other or you want to like do group deals. I just think it's really great, the community you guys have out there.
We have phenomenal neighbors over there. Yeah, the northern, every single little business there is just fantastic. It's really cool. We're fortunate to be where we are in that location. Yeah, big fan of every business in there, and it's fun. We see people that come and visit, and it's like sometimes it's like they're just going down the line. I can't come for my stretch at 3 o'clock. I'm gonna see the girls next door
Yeah,
for a
I
face.
got vaccine it this time. I got stretching this time. I'm gonna meet someone for lunch. Then we're gonna have desserts. Then I gotta have some coffee before I leave. I mean,
Yeah, one
everything
stop
right there.
shop. Yeah, you bet.
So if you had a billboard in Coeur d'Alene and you could put anything on this billboard, what would it either have or say on it?
Oof. Keep going. That would be it.
It's perfect.
Um, yeah, I mean, Coeur d'Alene's funny because Idaho is fortunate that we are not so locked down, but there are businesses that are absolutely thriving right now. Or a ton of real estate development here in our town. But then you have full spectrum to the businesses that are just hanging on to survive, and so the support and from the community and the people that are running those businesses just keep going. Like it's don't stop, get up and keep doing the things that you need to do to move forward. And sometimes those days you feel like you do a heck of a lot in a day and the ball just doesn't move. And that happens, and it's tough, but you wake up the next day and you just got to keep on going. So
Yeah.
that's what I would.
That's so true too. And it is, it's depending on what industry you're in. You're either thriving really well, like real estate, things like that, where people are wanting to move to our smaller community because they see the great things happening. And we are lucky to live in Coeur d'Alene where everyone kind of supports. I mean, I know this year I'm going to buy a lot of my like gifts all through small businesses in Coeur d'Alene because I know that's the way I can support. I can't like do huge things, but like I can get like stocking stuffers or whatever it is.
That's
Um,
a big.
yeah, or gift cards or whatever it is. So we are very lucky to have a community like that. But it is. We all have to just remember we got to keep going, moving forward. This will end. It's just we're very impatient right now.
Yes.
We're done. We're over this.
Yes, but I'm feeling that.
For sure. So how do people, so someone wants to get in with you, wants to connect with you guys, how do they get a hold of you, or what's their next steps to get in?
Yeah, we're on social media, Instagram, Facebook. You can send us direct messages there. You can give us a call. You can send us an email. All of our contact information, if you Google us, is all there. Yeah, give us a call. That's the easiest way. We are fairly booked up, but we have been hiring, and I mean we're actively hiring pretty much at all 3 locations. So yeah, there's room in our classes, and there'll be room on the benches. That's for sure. We would love to embrace as many people in the community that feel safe to go out and right now.
Yeah, I love it. So, like we said a million times, we're all going through this. We're going through it together, whether it's seasonal depression, losing your job, mentally, physically, something. So everyone's dealing with it in some capacity. What is one piece of like positive advice you could give to anybody listening that's going through this, kind of just a little piece of happiness or advice to get through this?
Uh, we've had a ton of sunny days this beginning of winter. I mean, we live in such a cool place. It's tough, but get outside, get some fresh air, check out from whatever it is that's been bringing you down. It's a constant balance. You can't keep fighting 24/7. You got to take those breaks. You got to take time for yourself and reset. And that you can't keep going without taking little breaks. That's for sure. That's what I would say. Yeah, get outside, get some fresh air, enjoy everything around Coeur d'Alene, and then get back to work.
Yeah, I love it. Well, Grant, thank you so much for giving me some of your time today. Really appreciate it. Please go check out Stretch Lab, Cycle Bar, Pure Bar. They're doing some great things. They're also giving back to our community. So thank you again, Grant.
Well, thank you. Appreciate it very much, Tabitha.